Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the Sports Stories podcast. I'm your host, Adrian McSwain. Now for today's episode, I'm going to be going over the 10 most unbreakable NBA records. Now, I'll just speak on the record, who holds it, everything like that. And then at the end of that record, that record description, then I'll go ahead and but just say the current. So for, say, this next one, for the assist one, Scott Skiles actually played for the Suns at the time. So I'll just go to the Suns' current, leading one in that record, and then also go to this season's leader. But I guess you guys will more figure it out when I'm actually doing it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these records. Okay, so now for the first record, we have the most assists in a game, that's being held by Scott Skiles, who had 30 assists. But now Scott Skiles holds the NBA record for the most assists in a single game, despite the fact that his legacy as a coach in Chicago wasn't particularly strong, only winning 30 games. On December 30th of 1990, Skiles accomplished the accomplishment during a 155-116 victory over the Denver Nuggets at the Orlando Arena. This record, which was previously 29, was held by Chicago native Kevin Porter for 12 years before Skiles passed him. A little more than 2 weeks later, from the Porter record, John Stockton had 28 assists as the Jazz defeated the San Antonio Spurs 124-102, but no one has come close enough in recent years to challenge the record, surprisingly. Stockton and Porter each had 25 or more assists in a game 3 times, it seems like a really hard record to break. Really nobody has really come that close. I mean, there's been 26, 27s, and everything like that. So going as for the Suns right now, Chris Paul holds the record for the team with the most assists in a game, with 16 assists in one game. But the season high this year, is held by James Harden, who has currently 21, or who had 21 assists in one game this season. Now, next record, we have the fastest foul out, totaling at 2 minutes and 43 seconds, and that's being held by Bubba Wells. Now, amazingly, this feat was accomplished by fouling Dennis Rodman in 1997 when the Bulls hosted the Mavericks, as Dallas coach Don Nelson attempted to slow down the Bulls' high-powered offense by hacking the worm repeatedly. To put this in context, Wells fouled Rodman every 27 seconds on average during this game. Rodman went to the, he basically walked to the charity shop, 12, he got 12 times. He went to the free throw line, and despite shooting 55% from the line in 1997 to 1998, he made a career high, tying 9 free throws against the Mavs. So, pretty crazy. I mean, I don't even know how Dennis Rodman just didn't beat him up, bro. Because every 27 seconds, he's just hacking you. It's crazy. But even to, slow down, but you're still sending them to the free throw line. You're still slowing them down, but you're still giving him basically free points. Dennis Rodman wasn't the best free throw shooter, surprisingly, but he definitely wasn't that bad. And the Bulls team was still good. So basically gave him free points on top of what, they probably would have already scored. So not the best strategy, and which led to the fastest foul out in NBA history. Now next, for the next record, for team points and a half with 107 points. This one's held by the 1990-91 Phoenix Suns. It goes without saying that, the conditions and, terms must be ideal, for the accomplishment to occur again. The Denver Nuggets under Paul Westhead, who gave up 30 assists to Skiles, were the opposition for the 1990-91 Suns. The Suns started the game with 107 points thanks to 50 and 57-point quarters, and they finished regulation with a record 173 points, paced by Cedric Cabellos, who had 32 points off the bench. It seems impossible to surpass 100 points and a half when you consider that the Boston Celtics lead all teams in team points per game this season with 118.8 points. Having stated that, the Nets are the closest this season to breaking the record with 91 points and a half against the Warriors this season, and the most points and a half by the Suns so far this season were 72 points. So it's definitely gonna be a hard feat to score 107. The Nets definitely got close when they scored 91. So I mean, and they did beat the Warriors pretty badly in that one, but still cannot get to 107. I mean, they need 16 more points and a half, and they were already on fire. That's crazy. I mean, I guess that Nuggets team was pretty bad because they gave up the 30 assists in one game, which is the most in one game allowed, and then again they allowed 107 points in one half, and then ended up losing. How much did they lose by again? I don't remember. What I just said. They had 173 points. I think they might have lost by like 40. I think the Nuggets lost by 40 in that one, but definitely an interesting, record. It's definitely gonna be hard to beat. There's not really any like scoring, like there's high scoring teams, like obviously the Nets got close, but like at that level, like that has to be an extremely terrible defense, and the offense has to be basically automatic in one half to even get close to that. So definitely it's gonna be hard, but I feel like it can be broken. But it would definitely take a few years for it to even get that close. Now next up we have individual points in a game, which obviously is 100 points, and that's held by Wilt Chamberlain. Now, Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game may be the greatest feat in basketball history. On March 2nd, 1962, Chamberlain scored 100 of the Philadelphia Warriors' 162 points, finishing the fourth quarter with 31 to reach the century mark. Wilt shot 36 for 63 from the field and 28 for 32 from the free throw line in the game. And his numbers are astounding. Furthermore, this performance came during Chamberlain's record-breaking 1961-62 season, in which he averaged 50.2 points per game for the Warriors. And the late great Kobe Bryant, came close to breaking the record when he scored 81 points against the Raptors in 2006. But as of right now, I chose the Warriors to represent this record. So as of right now, this season, Steph Curry has the most points individually for the Warriors this season with 50 points. And then in the entire league, as of right now, Luka holds the most points scored with 60 points, which he just scored that 60-point triple-double, which I believe is the first 60-point triple-double in NBA history by Luka Doncic. So, I mean, great record. I mean, Kobe came close to like twice. He scored 80 in one game, 60 in one game. Luka came close, but I mean, for them to score 40 more points and like they basically play the entire game is pretty crazy. Now there is skill issue with that because I mean obviously Wilt Chamberlain wasn't playing against defenders like Hakeem Olajuwon, or like anybody that's like currently playing defense in this league. He's not playing against those big men. So, there's a skill issue there with scoring 100. That's why I feel like Kobe's 81 is a little bit better since he's playing against more modern defenders, people that actually like really play the game of basketball, for a living. So, I mean, Wilt Chamberlain's, 100-point game is good. I mean, still scoring 100 points is still a feat. I don't really know what else you could really score 100 points in, easily. So Wilt Chamberlain definitely a good feat, but not the hardest, I guess, compared to 81 by Kobe or 60 by Kobe, 60 by Luka. I mean, even 50 by Steph is pretty hard to come across. So I mean, the 100 is still a great feat, and it's probably never going to be broken unless they put like a 4-point line, and Steph is like 55 draining 4-point line shots and somehow gets 100 points in one game. But even then, it would be hard. But definitely a one record that's probably unanimously going to be undefeated. Now, next up for the single game attendance record, it's 62,046 people, and that was in the Chicago Bulls versus Atlanta Hawks game in 1998. Now, another Bulls association that will go down in history. This one occurred with the Atlanta Hawks, where in the midst of moving into a new venue, playing games at Georgia Tech University and the Georgia Dome during the 1997-98 season. The Hawks chose to play at the Dome, the premier sporting venue in the city, because the Bulls and Michael Jordan, who would soon be retiring, would be in town. 62,046 people packed the arena to watch Jordan score 34 points as the Hawks were defeated 89-74. With 20,917 seats, the United Center still has the largest capacity in the NBA, although it would take 3 full United Centers to be even close to this record. So definitely it's going to be hard to break it since there's no NBA arena. Even the largest NBA arena can't even, match that attendance. So definitely going to be hard to beat that one unless they make a new stadium for a team that somehow can hold 62,000 people, which I highly doubt. Then it would be broken, but definitely it's a record that's based on circumstance unless, Adam Silver just is like, yeah, let's make a new stadium that's going to fit 63,000 people and, have it be a good team. So the seats will be all filled. So definitely it's going to be hard, but, definitely breakable if they do make a stadium, but I highly doubt it. So this one probably is going to be permanently in the record books for now. Now for the this one's for the single game margin of victory, and that is 73 points held by the 2021-22 Memphis Grizzlies, which I think a lot of people remember. It is possible that this record will be surpassed given technological advancements of today, but just like the Suns' 107-point first half, every factor must be ideal. The Grizzlies beat the Thunder 152-79 before outscoring the Thunder by 37 points in the second half. The Grizzlies led by 36 points at the break. Memphis scored 80 points in the second half compared to just 43 points for the Thunder. And currently the Grizzlies' biggest margin of victory was 41 points, beating the Bucks, who actually had Giannis on the court. I thought Giannis might have been out, but I saw the highlights and Giannis was actually on the court. So, that man was playing. But, Ja's having another MVP-like season. Still don't think he's going to get it, though. But the supporting cast is doing really well. This Grizzlies team is really a big powerhouse, even though, they did lose to the Warriors, and Clay was like, can't really say it's a dynasty unless, if you haven't even won anything yet. So, the Grizzlies still have a lot to prove, but definitely look good as of right now. And so far this season, the biggest margin of victory were when the Pelicans beat the Warriors by 45 points, and I believe Steph was out for that one, so that's why it's the largest margin of victory so far this season. But definitely a record that is going to be hard to beat. Beating a team by 73 points is hard enough on its own, but beating a team by 74, that's going to be tough. Might as well play the Pistons, try to get that. Because the Pistons play no defense. Even though, that's my team. The Pistons are my team, but you gotta have a team that just cannot play defense. Like the Thunder, they were not good last year, but, Shea's having a good season. He's putting up MVP-like numbers, so it's definitely going to be hard to put it back up on the Thunder, but, I think definitely it'll be breakable. It just is going to have to be like the worst team on the planet with no defenders and no shooters. Maybe the Charlotte Bobcats, maybe you can beat them by 74 back before they had Kemba Walker, maybe. But, really, it's going to be definitely hard to beat that record. But, again, it's just going to have to be ideal, perfect storm of events, and a team could possibly win by 74. Now, next up, this next record, we have the longest team winning streak, which is 33 games won. That's by the 1971 to 72 Lakers. Now, the Lakers won 33 games in a row in 1971 to 72, led by Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West, on their way to winning the NBA championship. Now, in recent memory, there have been streaks that have challenged this record, with the league's competition and media attention focused on the team on such a streak. It appears unlikely that we'll ever see any win streaks longer than this. This team was the perfect storm at the perfect time, boasting 3 Hall of Famers: Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and Wilt Chamberlain. Now, the Lakers' longest win streak this season is only 3 games, but again, season kind of just started, so not a lot of time to actually win 33 games straight. I don't even know. There's barely been 33 games this season, so definitely going to be a small number here. And as of so far this season, the longest winning streak is actually 10 by the Brooklyn Nets, which has made them I believe second in the East now with that 10-game win streak. So definitely, not a lot of games to say that there have been 33 just yet. It's definitely possible, but it's gonna have to be a really good team. That Lakers team is really good, but it's gonna take a really good team to actually win 34 straight games. I mean, that's hard, especially with players getting injured a lot more. There's a chance that good players are not going to be in for some games, so winning 34 straight is going to be hard, but there could be a team that's really dominating and could really win 34 straight. So it'll be interesting to see if it does get broken, but I feel like it could. It just has to be a really good team. Now, for our next unbreakable record, we have the single season individual free throw percentage at 98.1% by Jose Calderon. Now, this one is with an exception. I believe it's 50. I think you have to make over 50 free throws or attempt over 53 free throws in one season. Because, if you just make one and that was your only free throw, then obviously it's going to be 100%. But I think, you have to make a certain exception to even get it there. But given that Jose Calderon missed just 3 of his last 151 attempts at the free throw line the entire 2008 to 09 season, it would appear that this record is virtually unbreakable. By doing so, he overcame Calvin Murphy's record of 28 years, where he had 95.8%. Until late January of that season, Calderon had not missed a free throw. After that, he missed 2 of his subsequent 6 tries. Calderon has a 90% or higher free throw percentage in 5 of his 16 NBA seasons. So definitely hard to break. Since he only missed 3 free throws. He only missed 3. And at the rate that players are going to the free throw line right now, it's definitely going to be hard to miss 3. You really have to actually try to make all of them. It's definitely going to be hard. But as of right now, Kevin Durant actually holds the record right now as the free throw percentage leader at 92.8%. So definitely close, but it's definitely going to be really hard. You have to get to the free throw line a lot and also make a lot. He only missed 3. That means you had to miss only 2 free throws in your entire season to even get the record. So that's definitely going to be very hard, because just one off bounce on that third miss and it's over. So definitely going to be a hard one. Now, next up, with even scoring that in 118 games is definitely going to be hard. You'd basically have to average 50 points for 2 straight seasons to score even close to 118 games, because it'd be 160 if you played in every game for 2 straight seasons and got 50 points in every game for those 2 seasons. You would be well ahead of that record, but even then, people get injured. And there's some defenses that just are absolutely shut down defenses, so you're not going to be able to get it. But in my opinion, if we did see it being broken, I would want to say it's going to be Luka. I think Luka could definitely get it done. I mean, he still has a lot of years left, and I mean, at the rate that he's going now, I think he could definitely break it, but it's definitely going to be hard. And it'll be later on in his career by the time he does break it, so it's going to be hard to see if he does even get to that 100 mark, for the 50-point games. Now, coming in at the last, record, we have the consecutive games played, and that's 1,192 games played by AC Green. Now, the Iron Man of the NBA. I mean, yes, the streak does fall short of Cal Ripken's record of 2,632 consecutive games, but, that's baseball. He's just down low. AC Green was just down low in the paint, banging bodies with other, big men. It's definitely really hard to stay healthy, and not, be injured every other day, but, he still was out there, he's still playing. And I believe he didn't miss a game between 1987 and 2001. He won 3 NBA championships in the process. Amazingly, Green also participated in 83 games in a season in 1996 to 1997, thanks to a mid-season trade that, granted him to play in one more scheduled game. So basically, this man is he just can't get injured. He's eating that golden apple. He's got the storm mask from Call of Duty. This man he's got the health spray from Fortnite. This man cannot be injured. I don't really know who would be even close to this. Again, it could just be like some bench player that plays like 2 minutes. He plays like every game like 2 minutes and then just is out, and then he doesn't get injured because he only plays 2 minutes and he plays in every single game. But it has to be consecutive, so he would have to play in every game. It's going to be really hard. I really don't know. So I would say that it's probably going to be unbreakable, because even the worst of the worst of the best of the best, I feel like they don't even want to play in that many games. Like, just, they're like, oh, let me take a break. But 1,192 consecutive games. Consecutive. This is not like, oh, he just played in 1,192 games. This is like back to back to back to back to back. He played in all of those games. So definitely going to be hard to come across, because, players nowadays, to sound like an old head, really just want to break. So I really doubt that it's really going to happen. It would just have to be like some absolute beast, or just have to be like some bench warmer that plays in like every game. For what he went from 1987 to 2001. So what is that? 14 years. So bench player that's able to keep his job for 14 years, play in every game, somehow play in every game for at least like a minute, and then still keep his job for 14 years, play at least 1 minute, and play every single game. That is 14 years, a 14-year career playing every game and at least playing 1 minute. So you have to keep your job and at least play. That's definitely gonna be unbreakable. Just like thinking about it. So I think that one's definitely safe to say that one's not being broken. And that'll be all for today's video. Thank you for watching all the way through. Make sure you go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and share with anybody that you may think would like to know about these Unbreakable NBA records. I mean, tell me what you guys thought about it in the comments. I thought these were pretty interesting. I didn't even know some of these. Definitely the consecutive games played by AC Green, the stadium attendance being 62,000. Didn't even know you could have that big of a crowd watching an NBA game. So definitely some big records here, but let me know what you think is the most unbreakable record in the NBA, and that'll be all. So thank you again for watching all the way through, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.